And we begin with some breaking news that's coming in. A series of bombings have struck restaurants and public squares in the eastern Afghan city of Jalalabad. As many as 10 bomb explosions have been reported. At least 34 people have been injured in the attack. So far, on the 100th anniversary of Afghan independence, so far no group has claimed responsibility for the attacks, but both the Islamic State terror group and the Taliban operate in the area. News breaking here on Wion World is One. Afghanistan has been rocked by another terror attack, another explosion, a series of explosions, series of bombings that have hit restaurants and public squares on the event of the 100th Independence Day anniversary of Afghanistan. Tragic news coming in from Afghanistan all over again. And this time around, it is in the eastern Afghan city of Jalalabad, where 10 bomb explosions have been reported. So far, we understand that at least 34 people have been injured in this attack. We're awaiting more details. And now we have Jawed Faisal, former spokesperson of the Afghanistan government, joining us on the phone line from Kabul. Mr. Faisal, talk to us. What is the latest that you can tell us? We understand there are 10 bomb explosions that have rocked Jalalabad.
So far, the information that we have from the authorities on ground, there were 10 explosions.
Right, and so far 34 people have been reported injured as well. Mr. Faisal, if you can hear us. Right, we don't seem to have Mr. Jawed Faisal on the phone line with us, but these are the latest pictures that we've accessed on the series of bombings on Afghan's Independence Day, that to the 100th Independence Day of Afghanistan. 34 people have been injured so far in this terror attack, and this right after a deadly suicide bombing at a wedding hall in Kabul, in which over 60 people were killed. We have with us now our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik joining us on the phone line. Anas, talk to us. Less than about 24 hours after the tragic suicide bombing in a wedding hall comes this news.
Well, absolutely, Krishna. Just after 24 hours, roughly 24 hours, a series of bombings has struck restaurants in public squares in the eastern Afghan city of Jalalabad in Nangarhar province, where officials say that at least 34 people are injured. Now, this comes on the day when Afghanistan was marking its 100th anniversary of independence. As we speak, no group has formally claimed responsibility for these 10 bombs. There are conflicting reports that there are 11 explosions that have been reported, but 10 are so far that have been confirmed. No group, including the Taliban nor the IS, have claimed responsibility so far. But what is pertinent to mention here is that both the Taliban and the Islamic State are pretty active in Nangarhar region, the Nangarhar province. In fact, in April 2017, it was in the same area where the United States has stopped the mother of all bombs, targeting the IS militants. What is significant is that it comes in the backdrop of that Kabul bombing that was claimed by Islamic State, where about 60 people were killed. So as we speak, there are about 10 explosions that have been confirmed. There are conflicting reports of 11 explosions, but what we can confirm that at least 34 people are injured in these series of explosions that have targeted public areas and restaurants in Jalalabad city. Yes, Krishna.
Right, and we understand that neither the Islamic State terror group nor Taliban have claimed responsibility. Nobody has claimed responsibility, but we do understand both the Taliban and the Islamic State operate in that area.
Well, absolutely. Both the Taliban and the Islamic State operate in that area. In fact, not long ago, just in 2017, April, the United States had dropped that mother of all bombs, targeting the IS militants in this particular area around Jalalabad vicinity in the same Nangarhar province. Now, this borders up with Pakistan as well. Peshawar city is roughly 132 kilometers drive. It's about 3 hours from main Peshawar city along the line of Torkham border as well. The militants from both Taliban and Islamic State are very active in this particular region, but we're yet to see a group coming forward and formally claiming responsibility for these 11 explosions, which have now been confirmed by local authorities. At least 2 of them took place in a restaurant as well of Jalalabad. And these, by and large, these 11 explosions, they took place at public places, at restaurants, on the day when Afghanistan was marking its 100th year of independence. Yes, Krishna.
Anas Malik joining us on the phone from Islamabad. Now we have Mr. Javed Faisal, former spokesperson of the Afghanistan government, joining us on the phone line from Kabul. Mr. Javed Faisal, we do have the details of how many bomb explosions, 10, some reports say there are 11, but what is tragic is that this has come about 24 hours after the deadly bombing in Kabul. Mr. Javed Faisal, if you can hear us. Right. For all those who just tuned into this broadcast, news that is just broken here on Wion World is One. Multiple blasts again in Afghanistan, in Jalalabad. Series of bombings on Afghanistan's Independence Day celebrations, the 100th Independence Day, centenary Independence Day celebrations, and 10 explosions, 34 people injured. This 24 hours after more than 60 people were killed when a suicide bomber exploded in a wedding hall in Afghanistan's capital, Kabul. Anas Malik, our Pakistan Bureau Chief, continues to be with us on the phone line. Anas, one is how quickly this has come right after the Kabul bombing, and the other is the fact that for the month of July alone, that is the last month, more than 1,000 people killed across terror attacks. So even as the Afghan peace process ebbs and flows, there seems to be clearly heightened terrorist activity.
Well, over the time, Krishna, the Afghan Taliban have been focusing on one thing, that is that they are trying to avoid civilian casualties. In fact, that is one of the reasons as well that the Afghan Taliban, if there are any civilian casualties in their offensive or in their terrorist attacks, they come out with a statement clarifying that it was not on civilian population. And we have seen that happening in Kabul and in Ghazni as well. Just last month, when the Ministry of Defense in Kabul was attacked and it was adjacent to a school as well, Taliban was quick to restore to the fact that they targeted the ministry and not the school itself. Now, if we talk about particularly moving forward with the Afghan peace process, yesterday we saw the U.S. Special Envoy for Afghan Peace, Zalmay Khalil, that he was waiting for increase and for speeding up these talks between the Afghan Taliban and the U.S. so that a withdrawal or a peace agreement could be agreed upon. Now, something that is really significant is that since the third round of negotiations, there have been about 8 rounds of negotiations. When I take you back to January to December, when the third round of negotiations were taking place in Abu Dhabi, that was the first time when Taliban had formally said that they would not give, if they are in power, they would not give any space to the IS and they would rather eliminate them given a free hand and given that they would be focused. So that is when the U.S. had asked the Taliban for a sovereign guarantee that it should not just be limited to IS, but instead the Taliban should also be guaranteeing that they would not allow the Afghan soil to be used by Al-Qaeda as well. So by and large, the Taliban are trying to do some image building, but as we speak of this particular area where these 11 explosions have taken place, and there are children, as what are also confirmed on ground, among injured, there are children as well. So as we speak, both the Taliban and IS are active in that region, and there is no formal responsibility as yet. Yes.
Thank you, Anas, for joining us on the phone line.